Good morning, Flosstube. Happy Halloween. It is Sunday, October 31st, 2021, and this is my 22nd Flosstube episode. Hi, I'm Chrissy, finally a farm girl. This is my cross-stitch channel primarily, and every now and then I throw in some other needle art, fiber art, yarn art. Welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I'm so glad that we get to sit together this Sunday morning. And if you are new, and I know there are several of you, thank you. Thank you for giving me a chance to share my work with you and possibly inspire you to maybe try a new pattern, try a new designer, try a new linen. Anyways, we are going to get started in the normal way, which is I usually go through a little bit of my week. We have not been apart very long. I did a Flosstube on Monday instead of Sunday last week, so I'm a little bit off, but I wanted to stay consistent, so there's maybe not quite as much, but there is still an exciting winner for a giveaway if you hold till the end. I also have something else to send a lucky stitcher's way. And so yeah, let's talk about the week first. Okay, so it was much calmer than some of the other weeks, but the big event was on Thursday, October 28th. It was my daughter Olivia's birthday. She turned 19, so we do not have anybody under the age of 19 in our house as far as my kids go, which I just can't get over that next year both of these young girls will turn 20. It's crazy, but anyways, so we did not celebrate it on Thursday with the exception of some snacks and goodies, and the grandkids came over because they cannot make it for the real birthday party, which is tomorrow, November 1st. We put it off just because her and her sister and their boyfriends, they all work. So their days off are different than ours because they work for a restaurant in downtown Mount Dora, and the days that are closed are Mondays and Tuesdays. So tomorrow we are having a dress up Alice in Wonderland birthday party. That is what she wanted. The cake her sister is making. Cece's making that, and it is Alice in Wonderland themed. So I will be excited to post pictures of everything and the costumes tomorrow night when all is done. And it's really going to be, I mean, it's just us, but I'm all for fun no matter how many are coming. And it's unfortunate the grandkids and my other daughter Heather can't make it, but it's okay. You know, it's gonna be cute because we did not get your typical, we kind of made our own costumes. So I'm going to be the Queen of Hearts, and so I will wear a red dress, but I did buy the hair, and I will attempt to do heart lips or something, but it'll be cute, it'll be fun, and I'm excited. It's after that, trying to think, the 2nd, which is Tuesday, is my husband's name is Randy, and his name on Instagram is Finally a Farmer Guy. I was Finally a Farmer Girl, and he actually helped me come up with that name. And we had just gotten our chickens, and it was really just when I had first started Instagram, and I'm like, okay, what kind of name do I need? And what would best describe me? And of course at that point it was like, yeah, I really felt like finally I'm in my 50s, late 40s, and I'm trying this farming thing out. So he is the one that coined Finally a Farmer Girl, or Finally a Farm Girl. And so then when it was something. I'm like, you need to have your own Instagram because we're not sharing anymore. And he came up with finally a farmer guy. So our anniversary is Tuesday, and that's exciting. And then, you know, this is that time of year that the holidays are approaching, and like I said before, I mean, we have so many things to be thankful for, but you know, this is not the easiest time for any of us. We're all missing Mom, and my mom and dad's anniversary would be on November 4th, and that's going to be rough. So I will take all the prayers you have to help lift my dad up on that very special day. So anyways, that is the upcoming week as far as personal plans and things of that sort. Okay, who did I watch on Flosstube? Well, I gotta be honest, I watched a lot. I didn't track a lot because I really pushed hard on trying to get a finish in. I did not get a finish, but it's coming very soon. So when that happens to me, and I'm gonna discuss this a little bit more after I show some stitching, but I do know that I need to put down the phone and put down the tracking and just don't worry about it and just focus on the stitching. So I'm still watching everybody. I still watched Penny's daughter. She did her Halloween finish parade. It was phenomenal. It was great. I loved seeing all her stitches. I loved that her husband comes up with some really clever ideas to help her get what her desired finish is. So that was fun to watch. I would say one of my favorite ones was Kyle this week. Now, I never say his name right. He told me how to say it right, but I'm not going to go back and look it up. But I say Kyle Reichemer, right? Yeah. But anyways, everybody knows him as Kyle. If you don't know Kyle on Flosstube, you can just search Kyle Flosstube. It'll probably come up. He's also a model stitcher. He does a beautiful job on samplers, and he was not feeling well, but he was not going to let that stop him from sharing all his goodies from his most recent retreat, which included Brenda Gervais. And he's almost coming up on a beautiful, I mean, he put a good start into one of Brenda's piece, and it's phenomenal, and I can't wait to see the finish, Kyle. The funny part is I had to message him. I'm like, this was one of your best Flosstubes ever. Either he was maybe a little bit of NyQuil, I don't know what it was, but it was he was relaxed, he laughed, he was honest, and there's just something about somebody that shares real life authentically. I laughed at a couple of I think he had I don't know if it was a cuss word. It was little. It was nothing big, but it was hysterical. His timing was perfect, and it was so cute. So Kyle, thank you for the laughs this week. It was really, really good. And if you do not follow him, give him a follow. I know he hit 4,000 subscribers. I think that was on his Instagram account. Okay, I watched 911 Stitcher. She had a Halloween pattern parade, and that was fun, and she had a giveaway as well. And then I sat down last night with Fox and Rabbit because I knew they were going to have a fantastic Halloween episode, and they were both dressed up with ghoulish makeup, and I really couldn't beat that today. So you know what, here I am, black t-shirt, actually got some red gingham going on, but she did, mostly it was her, that she did another Halloween pattern parade, chart parade, and I gotta tell you, I was a little bummed I didn't win one of their t-shirts because their new design logo is amazing, but I perked up when they said they were gonna release it as a cross-stitch pattern, and I think that's so exciting and so cute. Okay, so let's I was gonna share one. Halloween is so fun. It doesn't have to be scary. My daughter, who was born on the 28th, that has her birthday, has loved Halloween since day one. It was like it was born in her. We came home from the hospital. We were home for 2 days. She had jaundice. We went right back in. But it was the only Halloween that I did not trick or treat with Philip or Heather because she was so little. So I stayed home. Every other Halloween, I remember pulling the wagon, getting them all ready. We had a beautiful neighborhood, and it's just such a fun night. So this was one of our Halloweens. I thought I would at least share a picture. Let's see if I can get the glare. But you can see this is Heather, who is now 26 and who made me a grandma. She did all their makeup. I was a witch, fun hat. This is Mr. Philip cuddled up over in my arms, and she made him a Dracula, and oh my gosh, he loves it. He absolutely loves Halloween. This is Olivia, and again, she had sprayed her hair all in gray. She had all black on, and this was one of our just ghoulish, witchy kind of Halloweens, and we had a really good time. So this one I keep out at Halloween, and I have tons and tons and tons of pictures like that, but I thought I would just share one. I think that her first birthday party, Olivia's very first birthday party when she turned 1, was we did a dress up, and all of my sister's kids and my kids were young, so we bobbed for apples. My dad did it. I had a big witch cauldron, and you know, those were the days. And now here I sit, and they're all grown, and we are not trick-or-treating, and we're relaxing, and we're gonna have my dad over tonight, and you know, my daughter's kids are trick-or-treating with their cousins. Oopsie, hold on, it's gorgeous out. There's a breeze blowing, but I don't want to lose my pattern, so just 1 second here. And we're gonna relax, and that's okay too. I really like that too. I love our neighborhood where we have about 17 entrances, and many of them, and I shared some pictures on Instagram, went to town decorating each entryway to our neighborhood. And it was just, it's so fun to see. I managed to go on 2 walks, and this week I am happy to say that my health journey included 2 walks, and I am now down 32 pounds. So slowly but steadily, and hopefully it's that'll ring true. Slow and steady wins the race. So okay, that's it. Let's get going on. I was very happy that both winners of not only the 5,000 subscribers and the winter kit, cross stitch kit from Twin Peak Primitives, both of them replied to me. Much better way to use my email address, and they went in the mail on Friday, just in case you're watching. And it's easier for me if I can make one trip, so especially with Philip. But anyways, so yeah, that was great. Okay, let's go ahead and start. I worked really hard, and I'm going to show you this one first. I worked really hard during the week, couple of nights, for sure Sunday, on the sale I'm in, which is for, and there's many in this one. This sale is rocking. This is the Haunted House Sampler Sale, and Emily C. from Eclectic Possessions was hosting the sale, and Jessie Marie Makes Stuff, or I think that's her name. I watched her as well on Flosstube, and she's the sweetest little girl. And anyways, ooh, I said like 3 times. Here I go again. Anyhow, you'd think I could just say stop and not do it. This is so fun to stitch. I love looking at this hashtag because so many people are stitching this, and so many people are using different linens and different conversions, and it's absolutely, to me, everything that the picture says it is. So let me show you where I'm at. I worked pretty good on this during the day sometimes. because I had some good fill-in spaces. So even though this is 32 count, it was easy enough for me to see in the daylight. So I think I had my ghost last time. I filled in over here quite a bit. I've started my steps, I've got some windows in, and this is it. I think I'll show it better. As a whole, now, this is gonna sound funny, with the exception of the house and the colors, the DMC. Let me grab those for you. So here. This is what came in the kit, because I received the kit. It's fun when you have all this. Anyhow, the only one I changed out color-wise was this one right here. Let me see if I can drape it here. I chose Fragrant Cloves for the vining. Now, the leaves, I will randomly pick from the oranges that we have. So really, the gray is theirs, that's that called for, but the vining is Fragrant Cloves, and then any of these you'll see, I'll change it here, lighter. I just doing my own thing, just having a good old time, not worrying about it. So I'm excited to get, let me show it to you right here. I am excited to get this door in and then get up to the top. So I did start up here, but I'm gonna do my border and I'm gonna stay consistent and come all the way around to this way. So that way I could get down, and I do use a lot of landmark stitching when I do stitch. So anyways, that's it, and that is 32 count, and y'all know I get it wrong every time because I want to say guacamole every time, but it's grasshopper. Y'all could probably tell me instead. But anyways, 32 count grasshopper, and I love it. I love stitching on it. I love the linen. I will use this linen again for sure. Let me put her away. There we go. But it's really fun, and I'm not gonna stop. Let's see. I'm not gonna stop stitching on it. I got thread stuck in the zipper. I was actually really. Because I stitch in hand, I use Pat Carson's needles. I love them that they're sharp, and I use a 28. And I heard kind of on Facebook and a couple other places that they're not going to be making them anymore, or I didn't worry too much about the details of it, but yeah, I'm bummed because I love those things. Every time I go up to my local needle shop, Brick City Stitchers, I'm like, okay, Jean, throw in needles. And so I'm not sure that I will try hunting anything down and frantically freaking out. That's not gonna happen. However, I'm kind of bummed because those are my favorite needles. I like them sharp and small. So anyways, that's the news about Pat Carson's needles. Okay, so somebody had asked me, and I said I would take the time to explain. I don't know if it came about because of the planner that I shared last week, Lori Holt's planner that I had gotten from Fat Quarter Shop, and that is what the giveaway was. But somebody asked me how do I pick what I'm stitching on. Well, first and foremost, I'm always going to stick with what a lot of people say, and that is I do stitch what I want. However, that being said, and being a model stitcher, I've made a commitment, and a lot of these pieces I've collaborated on, which means they're close to my heart, and I want to get them to you. I want to see the finish. I want to see what I envisioned in my mind and what Nerdan and Nersun have created on pattern comes to life. And that's so important to me. And I really give them a good priority, but that does not mean I don't stitch on other things. You've seen that. So I'll usually get stitching on them until they get to a point where I know a deadline. I know when I'd like them to have it. And I also kind of follow in many themes in my life or areas, the low-hanging fruit kind of deal. If I'm that close to a finish, then I'm going to push myself to a finish, or I'm going to motivate myself with something else to come up with a finish. So on Sundays, I was doing Lady of the Flag. I did not do that last Sunday. I knew that October was running short, and I wanted to spend some time with the haunted house sampler. I knew that I was going to be moving into my Christmas stitch. That will be the release with Twin Peak Primitives that I've been sharing little sneak peeks on Instagram and here. And I knew that I pushed Lady of the Flag out because she's going to be with me, all year. So I don't have a rhyme or reason. I like writing down what I've worked on, or I like writing down what my plans are. I think they're gonna be, but I don't hold myself to anything, because last night I stitched in the afternoon quite a bit on Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and then I just didn't want to anymore. I really needed a break from it because I'm to the next big piece, and I needed a break. So while I was watching Flosstube, Fox and Rabbit, I picked up my breast cancer stitch, which is the Whilst Iris Naps. So I do stitch on what I want, and if I need to call it quits, I call it quits for just a short amount of time to give myself that break and don't burn out. And I also have a few things I really want to get stitching, but I also know in the back of my head I won't let myself do that if I can help it, for the most part, because I really do want to see this come, to an end. So I don't have a good answer. My answer is I always stitch really what I want to. I will get in the mood, like last week. It's like I could have started all new things, started 20 new things. I was in the mood for starts, and sometimes I think when you're in the mood, you should go for it, because usually starting something new is not my favorite part. So anyways, it's just something you're supposed to love, and it's something you're supposed to enjoy. So, I try to balance it all out. You stitch what you love. If you need a break, you take a break. If you need to start something new, you start something new if you have it. And sometimes I motivate myself with a quick download, and it just says, okay, keep going. But I never am not enjoying what I'm stitching on. So with that being said, let me show you the progress that I got. And this is that cute bag, but the cats love laying on this. I absolutely love this bag. It's adorable. But this is Christmas Morning at Santa's Kitchen. Okay, got a lot of questions on this because people want to buy it already, and man, that nothing makes me happier. But it's not out yet. And as soon as it is, you'll see it come up on my Flosstube. I will make sure it gets on Instagram. The twins will release it. It'll be in their Etsy shop, on their website. You will know that it's out. So here is, I worked a lot on this. This is on 28 count summer khaki. And, well, okay. There they are. Now I'm gonna come close, back this up. I did some really fun things this week. I mean, this was a dream to stitch on. So, one, this is a phenomenal gingerbread house. Nerdan, you outdid yourself. It was fun to stitch. It wasn't hard to stitch. There's a rhythm to it. Just love it. And unfortunately, my light is right here, and so it makes their faces just look like they kind of washed out, but they're not, and I wish I could get it in there for you. I finished the tree again. Now you don't have to, but I've incorporated, and so did Nerd Dan in the pattern, some French knots. You don't have to. You have the spot where you could actually just make your stitches, but I needed some texture, because when you've got Santa and Mrs. Claus and you have a white, white trim, white on your hat touching face, light face, then the hair, obviously they're mature in age, so you've got light hair. So I decided to try it on Mrs. Claus first, and I love it. I took where her hair was, and so they're stitching underneath it, as you saw, and I put French knots, and I think it's so great because I do envision Mrs. Claus with tight little curls. I just love it so much. So I'm really glad, because it gave it some dimension. And then in the tree over here, this might help a little bit there. In the tree are French knots in gold. Now their clothes is in Lancaster Red by Weeks. This is Whiskey by Weeks, but it is different than this color here, because I wanted that to be more gold, and I followed the pattern for that one. But I do always love to throw in some whiskey if I can, because I think it's such a subtle and pretty gold. Okay, so then I thought, okay, what am I gonna do with Santa? Because I knew it was gonna take quite a few French knots, but I think it was worth the hour that it took me to do this. It's worth it. So I followed the pattern where I knew my stitches were for his beard, and I just outlined it first with my French knots kind of, and then I just came in and packed it in. And this one I used Weeks Dye Works whitewash, and it gives a great, you won't probably see it here, but it's so natural, because you've got some tans, some beiges, mostly white, but it's got a good variegation in there for you. So I am absolutely loving them. I feel like I always, there we go. Oh, hey, that looks a little bit better. Now, Santa and Mrs. Claus are in Lancaster Red, because I don't feel like what you would be wearing is a bright shiny red suit. I feel like, yes, to some degree, but I like it that it has that more muted color. And then up here where these ribbons are, to me, those are satin, real pretty satin ribbons that are holding these bows here. So that is in Merlot. I knew I was going to come up with it. I wanted to say cognac, but okay, that is in Merlot. So it's just a tad bit deeper and not muted. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. And let's see if I used it. I used it in the Gingerbread House, and then this is just DMC here. This is DMC here, 221, and a lot of those will just follow a pattern. So where am I? Okay. This is why I just needed a break last night, because I'm building the fireplace. And what I did do was make sure that my garland here, I don't know if you can see it, okay. I added like the cranberries, or whatever you would want to call them. So not cranberries, what the heck. Anyways, I added the red French knots, because I love that. I love the berries in my garland. So right now you're gonna see in the next day the fireplace come to life, the rest of the border go on, and there's a very cute display right here. And my favorite part I'm saving until the end. and it will go right up here, and that's my favorite part. So I wanted to share that this is part 2, so this is the second in a series, and I did pull out for you again part 1. So this, whoa, there we go. This was the release last year. This is called A Patriotic Christmas Eve. You can find this at the, don't fly away, hold on. Okay. You can find this on Twin Peak Primitive's website, their Etsy shop. You can order it from my local needle shop, Brick City Cross Stitch in Ocala, Florida. I link all of this down below. So this one was where it all started, and I absolutely adore this. I've shared before, this is my favorite of all their patterns, and I just love that it's going to be a series. The series name is At Home with Santa, and the goal is to share him in each of the rooms. So to me, this is Santa getting ready to go. This is Mrs. Claus by the fireplace doing her stitching like we do. And then this one here will be the morning after. Which, who doesn't envision, a perfect morning of us, adults waking up and getting our cup of coffee. I'm sure they're having cocoa, but getting a cup of coffee, sitting down to the table, everything's all done. We all know the feeling. It's this wonderful build-up, and then this wonderful, relief and enjoyment and gratitude, and we get to watch our kids play and give thanks for all the things that, all those blessings. So anyways, I can't wait. I can't wait for both of them to be displayed together. So that's exciting. Let me move this one over here. So this will be my afternoon stitch, and I will take this one. My plan is to take this one to a finish, and then I will get it framed. And there's no glass. I don't use glass on that last one, so I won't do glass on this one. And I should be able to get it back a little quicker that way. So sorry about that, squeaky chair. So I feel like I should have it back possibly even by Friday. And that's my goal. That's my plan. Okay. Then I stitched on, like I said, last night I decided I needed a little bit of a break from it because of the fireplace. I wanted to be fresh and thinking. So I pulled out Whilst Iris Naps. This is the breast cancer awareness pattern that she put out, Eliza M. Stone, 1881. I'm stitching it in honor of my sister-in-law, Elaine Morgan. And this was such a nice thing that Christina did from Whilst Iris Naps, because the pattern is free if you make a donation. So I did pretty good. I am enjoying this so much. So I have stitched it exactly, put this behind it for some strength here. I have stitched everything as called for in the pattern, with the exception of in this cursive alphabet. I went ahead and changed these initials, E and M, for Elaine Morgan to the darker pink, so that I could represent her in this, because yes, I'm stitching it in her honor, but I've decided I do want to leave it, it's upside down, I do want to leave it representing Eliza's work. I don't have any problem when people change up samplers, original samplers, but for me, I really want this to stay as true as possible, because I really love knowing if I pulled that out, I want the school to stay there, and I want it to be where I stitched it in her honor, and I will put that on the back of the sampler. So the way that I denoted that is I just highlighted her initials in it, and on the back I will share a picture or a story so that any of my kids or things like that know. So here's a little close-up. And I'm very close to finishing the cursive alphabet, which will be 3 alphabets done. Right here, I only have a few right here. And then I have to pull this down and come over, and I'm excited to get to the next part. So this won't be going away. And I can't say that I won't work on it a little bit today, even if I just get myself a finish right here, if I need a break from Santa and Mrs. Claus. So the colors that I'm using on this, one second, I'll get you that. The linen is 28 count Legacy by Picture This Plus, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a beautiful model piece of linen for this sampler. And the 2 colors I chose were Sampler Threads Gentle Art Victorian Pink. This is your Gentle Art, this is the Victorian Pink. And then my dark is a Weeks, and it is Camellia. So I put these 2 together here for you. Since there wasn't, there was only 2 colors, I didn't put any fancy blings or change the floss drops or anything like that. So this is what you've got going on. This is my dark, this is my light. And this is actually quite a true representation of the Legacy linen. You've got some of these little darker colors, and I love it. I will definitely use more of this. It's very, very pretty. And so that is Whilst Iris Snaps, Eliza Stone. This is, again, you can follow her on her, you can go to her on Instagram, or you can find her, you can Google her name, and her patterns are PDFs, so it's a very quick to get in your hot little hands if you want to get stitching it. It's still October. October was breast cancer, or is breast cancer awareness month, so even if you buy it, make a donation and save it for next October, or stitch it through the year. I was really glad when I actually had someone email me saying they were going to stitch it as well and wanted to use the same colors, and I love that, because that's when I feel like this is real for us, that I sit down and I think that I'm literally with y'all, and that's so nice when people can reach out and never be afraid. I do the best I can with the time that I have to get back to you. And I did have another person email me about Lady of the Flag, and if there's any special place that you could go get it, and there really isn't. I know that it's a well sought after pattern, and for me it's just a borrowed pattern, and it'll go back as soon as I'm finished. So if I ever hear of the magic place where we can get it, or if they ever start re-releasing that, the Mirabilia, I will be the first one to tell you on here, because I know how much you love it. So, okay. Oops. Okay, so the next sal that's coming up is Black Sampler November, and the Modern Folk Embroidery, Jacob, wanted to give light to the black sampler. I've picked one knowing that I'm got a lot of stuff going on in Christmas and things like that, and things that I want to finish, but I want to participate, and I also wanted to support Michelle from Mama Loves You GB. I showed this before. It was her very first design that she designed herself, and her story is in the sampler. I shared it last time, but I just call this Miss Nessie's sampler, 1929. And, you know, this was just, to me, it was a win-win because one, I really like it. It's not huge. And two, this is when we support our friends. This is when we support our designers. And whether it's one you stitch now or you stitch in a year, it's you know, it's nice to have. So anyways, I am not sure what linen I'm stitching on. I haven't kitted up, but I do think that I've decided to try stitching this with Valdani. I have a beautiful black Valdani, and it might be just the perfect thing to try something new. And so anyways, if you haven't got this, you might want to go take a peek. She is out on Etsy, and it's quick and easy and print. So that will go into my other, that goes in this bag. This is the one I showed you last time that, it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. Creative Country Girl. Okay, she has a web page, but if you do follow her on Instagram, she also has a link that you can get right to, and it makes it so easy. It makes it so easy. So I do know that she was getting some bags like this together, and they're beautiful, and this one is quite big. So I've been housing the two of my reproduction samplers in here right now. So Miss Nessie stays in here with Miss Eliza. Okay. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing really, really good. Okay, so I showed everybody my fall tray. If you're new, then you will see it again because I am so excited. I love that it's Halloween. I'm kind of bummed that October's over, but I'm really ready for the first time to have some Thanksgiving stitched pieces. I've usually had like one, but I am really happy. I've got the Grateful, that Twin Peak Primitives I model stitched with them, and above there is another Twin Peak Primitives that's more in line with the Mayflower, but again, Pilgrims. And I did that green tray, and I put all my smalls in there that I've shared with you. Well, I got another tray, and I wanted to share with you how I painted it this time. I wanted to have a red one, and I wanted it to be for gingerbread or smalls for Christmas. I do not have a tiered tray, but I have an island I could put one on, and I've always loved gingerbread. I know a lot of us do, and cocoa and all of that. So that being said, I might make two. I might need another one. But what I did to this one was, I really like it. Okay, so I did a few things on this box here. I painted it all red inside here. And I did the red first. And then I did all black on the edges and the back. And then the tops, just the tops. I just hit them real quick and went over the red with the black. I made it easy on myself because dark covers light when you're painting. Dark covers light. So I did all my red, squirt them in the drawer. Like, I make it really easy on myself. One, I'm primitive, so I don't mind that. Two, I just take my tube of this is Barn Red acrylic paint, and I just squirt it right in each one of those. Okay, and I still painted this one inside here. I picked up this scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, but obviously anywhere. It reminds me a lot of, I believe they would call this like a tartan plaid. And as this came to a finish, all I could think about was Brenda from Brenda and Cereal Starter. All I could think of was Brenda and her Scotty dogs. And like all of a sudden I'm like, well, I just need to stitch a bunch of Scotty dogs because that would be perfect. So anyways, okay, painted all red, then I painted my black, then I did Mod Podge, and all I wanted was a couple of these that had a little bit of design in it, because I don't know how many of these little pillows I'll get finished or anything like that. So I wanted to give it some color. So this was just craft paper, scrapbooking paper. I didn't worry too much if it was cut perfectly to the design, but I did pretty good. And I used Mod Podge, which basically is so fast. I literally paint the bottom with the Mod Podge, put my paper on top, flatten it out really good, get any air bubbles out, and then you coat the top with Mod Podge and you let it dry. Same here. Then I took a cream wax that's kind of like a walnut, and I dry brushed the rest. I did my bottom first, and then this is the effect you're seeing that almost looks like I did it in black, but it's actually just a dark color. And I just dry brushed it, which if you've never dry brushed, all dry brushing is you squirt some paint on a paper plate, you know, something that you don't care about, and you take a dry paintbrush and you dab the tips only in the paint, and then you wipe a little off, and then you just dry it. Now, I don't worry too much when I'm stitching the side like that, but I still went over this because this also gives it that glazed finish look. So this is my box, and I'm excited for whatever use it has. I've decided I need another box that I want to do in all black for all year, just to leave it out in the living room for more like your colonial pieces, little smalls and stuff. So then what I grabbed was, in case I don't get as many things done, or in case this lands somewhere in the kitchen, I started grabbing some of these ornaments that are half off, so all of like $2, that I can prop up. I'll cut the ribbons off and stuff, but so that I can prop them up. See, like that guy doesn't fit, but if he's standing up, it doesn't matter. But I grabbed some of these that I could play with that are half off, that I can put you know, in here, or if I end up with a tiered tray, then great. I will put this out there for something else. Still Christmas, but I just have fun to work with it. So let me put this down. Now, the box I ordered from my friend Stitching Linda. She ordered it for me, but I think she said it's factory direct crafts. I always ask her every single time, over and over again, and they were $10. So somebody did message me on the boxes. They're $10, factory direct crafts website. They have a lot of kind of stuff like that, and they suck the paint up perfectly, and it's just so fun to do. Something still for your stitching, but something different. Okay, so haul. Let's talk about haul for 2 seconds here. And I had one very quick eBay, which is from the Cricut collection. It was really, really quite inexpensive, and I liked it. And it is called Shadows by Vicki Hastings, the Cricut collection. And okay, so here's my thought, because I'm always planning and thinking ahead. How sweet would that look above Mama Loves You GB's Nessie's sampler? I mean, seriously, because she's just the shadow amongst all these, you know, the colors in here. Let me see, ecru beige and dark beige. Now, okay, over here. I mean, they're all DMC. This is older, but you could easily, I could make it all black again and do another one, but I really think this is going to be cute with that companion piece. So I did get that off of an eBay purchase, and I really like that so much. Okay, haul. Next one is, I haven't shared anything for a while, but Mama Witch Cross Stitch. I had shared Pumpkin Gardener with you a while back. She does a freebie every month if you are on her Facebook group. So if you go out to Mama Witch Cross Stitch, right there, and join her Facebook group, she puts a free pattern out every week, and they're not tiny, but there was something about this that cracked me up so much. Is like, want a piece of me? Like that. You could just tell this turkey's got a lot of attitude. Well, we had a turkey named Lurch on the farm. And yeah, he was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But he had attitude. And this guy reminds me, and he's got cowboy boots on. So whether or not I doubt I will be stitching him this year, but I think it's so cute, and I think that it will find a place in my house or my daughter's house, or as a memory of Lurch with his tood. But that face, her designs have so much detail. So anyways, he just makes me laugh. So Mama Witch Cross Stitch. Want a piece of me? Anyways, okay, so freebie, and so cute, so worth it. Then, now, let's see, I gotta move things around. I thought I was all done with Thanksgiving. I had stitched all the little ones, and I just felt like there would be really no time with finishing up the model that I have of Santa and Mrs. Claus. Then I have a secret stitch that I have to finish, and I would like to get off the very next week. So I will roll from one low-hanging fruit to the next low-hanging fruit so that they're both off my list for the holidays. And then I saw Stitching with the Housewives, which I'm going to admit, guys, I've never bought a pattern before. I have one waiting for me up at my a Christmas one at Brick City Cross Stitch, because I want to use the Santa and Mrs. Claus, and I don't want to stitch the whole thing, but I want to make them into little stand-ups for my box that I just showed you. And they're the perfect size. And then they put this one out, and I gotta say, I love that little pilgrim. So I do not think I'm gonna do the cup. I think I'm gonna make a really small one. And I think he's so cute. So whether it's this year or not, that's okay with me. I don't know if I would do the mug. I think that's why I'll hold off and think about it. I don't have any other, but in this pattern, for the price of it, I've got a really cute turkey and a really cute pilgrim. So I'm excited, and I've never had one before. The stitch count is 42 by 56. Tiny, and they stitch it on 28 count black. Well, I can tell you I will not be stitching it on black, but we'll see. We'll see what I decide. But anyways, this is available now, and I did go ahead and download it on my cardstock, so he's really cute. And then they did it again. So like I said, I ordered one that's a bigger one from Stitching with the Housewives from my local needle shop, but then I saw this one, and I want to do the same thing. I don't want to stitch all of it, and I really don't want to do Merry Christmas. What I want to do is just have these guys, and I'm not sure about that. So either I'm gonna stitch them alone for smalls to go in the tray, or tier tray, or whatever it is. But again, let me put it out there. Really, really cute. This is Merry and Bright. It's one of their Dapper Doodads. Again, these are my very first patterns that I've ever bought from them, and I'm kind of like minimalist when it comes to finishing things, so this is what I see. And maybe this would just be a really cute ornament for the tree too. So anyways, those two were part of haul. Now, when I was flying around Etsy, as I've been known to do when I'm going to sleep, I also came up with this by Sugar Stitches, another new designer for me. I've never tried. Such a reasonable download, and I can tell you right now that this will be in the tray for sure with those gingerbread men, etc. So this is Sugar Stitches. It was downloaded from Etsy, and for me, I will not be stitching Kringles. I will just be stitching the house. That's it. And I'm gonna have some fun with pillows again. I've been missing doing some of that kind of finishing. Maybe I will do gingerbread because I enjoy stitching letters. So, but again, it's really not necessary to still be that cute. So that's that one. I already have the threads, all DMC. Got them ready on my floss drops. That was another break I took yesterday, was just to still do stitchy stuff, but get this ready. So I used the same tags that I had purchased before. And then to go with it, I found this, and this is a different designer on Etsy, however, reminded me a little bit the same, but the Calico Confectionery. And what I want to do is these guys right there in the bowl. A light gingerbread, a dark gingerbread. I'll always have it if I want to stitch that pillow. Cutest thing. And it's called Christmas Cookies 1 Ginger and Spice. So I totally want to do those. And I'm really excited about these two. So what I did was the floss was very familiar. So I just literally put all of the floss on this. And so I'm ready to do these two smalls together. And then I will keep these in, hold tight here. I have a really sweet dot goose bag from Miss Denise, and still hanging on to. These are gonna be like this year's Christmases that I'd like to get a start on, and for sure these I'd like to get a finish. So these are in dot goose vinyl front project bag. And again, she's got these great little extras that you can get with it, that you can, it's got a snap closure. Oopsie. No, I'm not ready yet, but I will be. And if I can get my hand on some Pat Carson needles, that would be great too. So these are gonna be housed in there, and I'm really excited about that. I'm really, really excited about all of these. But these two will probably get started because I grabbed the floss already. So, okay, we are moving right along, doing good. Let me check in here and notes. Okay, I talked, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so now, I mentioned before I was trying to do a haunted house for each of my kids. I have the Haunted House by Twin Peak Primitives. That's a sampler. Then I downloaded and I shared with you a couple weeks back where I fell in love with the Cloud Factory Haunted House. Jessie Marie does stuff, she shared that. Emily C. Eclectic Possessions actually put some stitches in hers, and it's looking fabulous. I also have Universal Monster Cell by Witchy Stitcher that I started, and I have a few of the rooms done with that. That is called an open house, where you can see in the rooms, and I love that. Made by Michelle McGraw, she loves those too, and I spent the better portion of what felt like a day looking for these stitches patterns with open houses because they're so cute. So anyways, I believe she said she found quite a few, or people have shared, and she's going to share that on her next Flosstube. But what I did find in that hunt was by the Witchy Stitcher, A Stitcher Haunts here. So this one's for me, and I really, really like that. I've looked at it before and I forgot that it existed. It's not huge, but it's really cute. And the nice part about her downloads are this particular one here, I was so thrilled that actually, let me grab the page, you end up with two. So you end up with this color version, which I think is phenomenal. Purple roof, all the colors. Oh my gosh, I love that thing. But I'm also very drawn to this more muted antique-y piece. Now it's got some adorable things. There's needles sticking in the coffins. They're wrapped around. I mean, really cute. Really, really cute. So yeah, a Stitcher haunts here. So this way I can tell my kids, you know, you better be good. Otherwise a Stitcher will be coming and haunting you. So I did get the DMC for this, just easy peasy. And for right now I am kitted up, minus the linen. The threads I have are for this version. My daughter Olivia was like, I like this one. And the good part is it's really not huge, and I can easily potentially stitch it again in color if I wanted to. So these are the colors, just nice neutrals, and I'm going up to Brick City on Tuesday. I'm taking a friend up there, and she's never been there before. So when I go up there, I will probably at least grab the linen. And I have decided, very much like Fox and Rabbit, which by the way, I did not see this in her stash. Karen, like this was not in her stash. She had a massive Halloween stash of patterns, or pattern parade. I did not see this, and I know they love the Witchy Stitcher, so I'm gonna tag her. We need to stitch this one together. So anyways, fun. I love that she's stitching Halloween all year, and I am going to do that too, so I have some more smalls and get some finishes on the things that I started. Okay, that was the rest of haul. I was going to share with you. I'm very excited to give this to Olivia tomorrow. I finally get to give her this for her birthday, and I'm just excited because she keeps her Halloween cross stitch and Halloween pictures and theme. She loves A Nightmare Before Christmas, so I'm really excited. And this was in Fox and Rabbit's Halloween chart parade. I was excited to see that she just absolutely said it was one of her favorites, and that I agreed. You could literally stitch this cabinet by itself. It's so good. So anyways, that's Witch's Craft Room, and this is by Twin Peak Primitives. This one did not get museum glass, and it shows, but love it. And you can easily get that one. You could call my local nail shop, or you could easily just download it from the twins. So anyways, I'm excited because I can finally wrap it up and give it to her tomorrow, and it's gonna be good. Okay, so we've made it. Let me put this here. We have made it within an hour here, and I am approaching a close. So let's do the winner for last week's giveaway. And that was for the planner. And let me get it out and show you again. 1 second, sorry about that. I opened mine, and I love this thing. I am so excited. I'm gonna tell the kids for Christmas I'd like some nice markers or pens, and some stickers that fall in line with weight loss or health, or anything that they feel would work. So anyways, I don't want to put my name in it yet, but this is the new Bee in My Bonnet 2022 planner. And it came in this really nice box. Their boxes are like heavy duty. Anyways, I'm gonna save this box. Right now my planner is gonna stay in there. But I'm gonna save this box because I think this would be great storage for her patterns. And I would know when I look in my Stitchy cupboard exactly what's in this. So I'm really excited about just the fact that this is such good quality that I don't even mind displaying this in my cabinet. So anyways, this is the planner. If I didn't have it, I would definitely be buying it, because I love that it's got the dividers in it. I'm patient when it comes to some Stitchy things, but not patient when it comes to others. And I want to get to my month right away. I really don't want to spend my time trying to find myself, find where I need to go through the planner. And I shared with you, there's a good note section at the back, and there's also a spot for health goals, tracking water. And I realize that you can do a lot of this on your phone. I'm techie, but not techie. I still find that there's a time and a place to have a physical book in your hand, and a physical planner would be part of that. I still like that. When I read a book, I don't read off the tablet. I really still like that book in my hand. So anyways, and that's why I think it's hard for me I can stitch off a tablet, but I still prefer to stitch off of a paper pattern. I do my best to recycle many things in other ways, but like that's just something I really like to do. And maybe 2022 could be the year I try to do some of this off of the tablet. But anyways, so the winner of this, I'll put mine back, the winner of the 2022 planner, you can get it at Fat Quarter Shop. It's So Emma sent it, and there was 138 comments on this one, and the winner is Nicole Patterson. So congratulations, Nicole. She says, it's so good to see you again with another fun Flosstube. I have a love for a great planner. Seems like every time I go to TJ Maxx, I always find one that I think I have to have. But this one, OMG, Lori Holt hit it out of the park. It's so cute, and I love that it's a great life planner. Me too. As well as a crafty planner. Thank you for offering this cutie for a lucky stitcher. Happy stitching and crafting. Well, Nicole Patterson, you are the winner. Thank you for the sweet, sweet comment. I really appreciate your comments. You know that I do. I pinned a special one to me this week up at the top. That's what I do each week. And but Nicole Patterson, all you need to do is email me. My email is finallyafarmgirl@gmail.com. If you're on Instagram, you can message me there as well, direct message me, however you want to get to me. And I will get this in the mail to you next week. So congratulations, Nicole Patterson. Again, definitely something I would want to be buying for myself and give it a try. Okay, so I got something in the mail, guys, that I have a giveaway, so hold tight. I feel really blessed by this connection, but this thing I wanted to share with you. I got this in the mail. This is from Fat Quarter Shop exclusive. It's called Floss and Store. You're gonna laugh because I didn't use it for that. It's called Floss and Store, an acrylic storage box. Once again, you get this really good quality box that it comes in, and it really protects it. But I was blown away. So let me show you what this is. It's meant for stitchy stuff. It's meant for these your floss drops. They call them, one second here, I think they call them biddies. They don't have any yet, but it says it is, one second here, well, I know they're for biddies, and I can't find where it said it, but it's for floss drops, but they have them specifically. They're plastic ones. They're called itty bitties or something, and they have really cute designs on them, and they're like a hard plastic, so you can reuse them, and they fit this. But guys, this thing is acrylic, but it is gorgeous. It is heavy duty acrylic, and I don't have any of those. I have a lot of floss drops, and a lot of people are going to see this right here. So I love that you can see in to what you're looking at. And what I needed at the time, and maybe one day, this is the great part about craft organization, you can change it anytime you want. Okay, I want to use it as my finishing station. Just the little things. So this slides open. It's gorgeous. It is so heavy duty. really, I just can't explain it. And then I'll show you inside in just a second. There's little rubber stoppers, slip resistant stoppers, so wherever you put it, it's not going to slide around on you when you open the drawers. And okay, so I can give you the dimensions. I don't like reading off of certain things just because I want you to know if I love it or not myself, not because it's something that got sent. But I will tell you that it is 8 by 12.25 and the height is 3.5. But okay, we could always find a spot for it, but this is what I did. So it fits perfectly. These are business card floss drop cards. I'm gonna see if I can angle it a little bit. So I've got 2 sections because I wanted them to angle back and I wanted to look in, since it is clear, I wanted to look in at pretties. So I also had, these are Lori Holt's thread drops that are the hard plastic. So I put those there. But behind it, let me move this to the down here. So I've got my punch for when right there. It fits perfectly. I've got a measuring tape. So when I'm sitting out there with Philip and I'm working on smalls or I'm kitting up, some stuff I just need to get into real quick, that isn't really floss related, and this is what this is for. It's like a floss cabinet. It's for those specifically and they fit. However, that doesn't mean we can't use it for other things that work for us. So for me, I've got my measuring tape, I've got my punch. I could also see it being used so well for the new Lori Holt, like the buttons that they're doing, because there's all these really nice sections in here that will house everything but keep them separate. And then what I did over here is these are my buttons. Hold on a second. That I have been gathering from, it's a little hard to do this one-handed, but like from Joann's, Hobby Lobby, something I might want to stitch onto a little small. They're all in here in one of those sections. So here's a little thimble. So those fit all in one spot. I'm gonna tell you, this is heavy, like heavy, good heavy. But for right now, and then it just slides in really nice. This I like right here. This is rounded. I don't know why, but I'm going to show you the things that I like about it. This is rounded and smooth. Okay, this handle is smooth. This is nice to work with. So let me put this up. I really think that how beautiful would this be? I'm just going to call it my finishing box, because I know back here I'm going to try and get some of Lady Dot Creates or maybe some of Lori Holt's lace ribbons and trims for finishing too, where I can just snip off a portion and put it on my pillow. So this is called Floss and Store Acrylic Storage Box. You can find it on Fat Quarter Shop. I cannot wait, and I actually think for me, I probably will get 2 so I can stack them. And I know that I'll be able to stack them because of the rubber stoppers, so I don't have to worry about it, the top one sliding off, because it is acrylic and it feels really, really good. But I don't have to worry about it if I want to stack them 3 high. How beautiful that you could see your stuff and get to it. That's one of the things I struggle with. I don't want to look at everything. I definitely don't want to look at it messy. So the fact that it can be organized and I can choose what sits up front and what I see, that's perfect. And these floss drop cards that we've all been exchanging, they fit perfectly in these little nooks. So you might want to check that out on Fat Quarter Shop. And thank you, Fat Quarter Shop, for mine, because at first, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm making a finishing station, a finishing box, so that when I sit out there with Philip, I have everything I need, right there. And that was exciting. Okay, so then for you, this is a little different than what I've done before. The giveaway this week. Let me make sure that the last thing I share before I do the giveaway is y'all know my plans. It's basically to finish Santa and Mrs. Claus. I will see you next Sunday. So that gives me, you know, 6 days to work on that one. 6 days. I would love to go for a finish on my Whilst Iris Snaps breast cancer sampler. I would love to get a start into Black Sampler November tomorrow on November 1st. I just a few stitches in. That would mean I would have to use linen from my collection. That's fine, no problem. And I'm gonna try the Valdani. I also want to get some stitches if I finish Santa and Mrs. Claus back into my secret stitch and bring that one to the front. So those are really my plans, and I'll be excited to share with the birthday. So this week's giveaway is just they have been so generous and so kind. Sorry for that paper. This is for you from It's So Emma, Fat Quarter Shop, and It's So Emma has sent you all of these. This is for quilters. So I remember how much my mom loved paper piecing. So what I have, because it was so easy, so what I have for this week's giveaway is for a quilter. And even if you weren't, it certainly is a good way to get started. So what they sent was this very generous, let me put it so I can hold on one hand, all of these little things to help make your quilt blocks in the sizes all the way up here. So 5 sizes with paper piecing. So let me show you the biggest one. It's for quilt block foundation paper. And I know my mom used this all the time. It made it so easy. So here they're giving you an idea of what you can do. And then here is your foundation paper. So you get plenty of these. I actually want to say 42. So 42, this is a 5-inch square unfinished blocks, 4.5-inch square finished blocks. So you got a 4.5 inch, 3.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 1.5 inch, and a 1 inch. And the pattern Geneva. So this is the Geneva quilt pattern, and it is designed by Crystal Stahl by It's So Emma, or it's put out by It's So Emma. So maybe I have some quilters out there that this week would like to chime in, and we're just going to use the word Geneva. So use the word Geneva in this week's giveaway if you're interested in this. And it is always the rule that you are a subscriber, that you do not use the word contest, winner, giveaway, draw. We always say it every time, just in case somebody new is here, and that's completely wonderful. But you know, in order to keep it going to actual quilters, actual stitchers, we don't use those words. So the key word here is, if you type in the comment section under this video, just like, subscribe, and you know what else? Sometimes I forget to tell you, there's a bell there. A lot of people on Flosstube will remind you there is a bell that will tell you when a Flosstube is put out by me, just in case. Because I know for me, I have my bell set for some of my favorite Flosstubes so that I don't miss them, so that I know when one comes out, and that's how I gauge my night. So anyways, the word is Geneva, Geneva. This is a sizes for a crib, lap, I saw a lap, and twin quilt. So anyways, that was so very sweet. Hold on one second. There's a second giveaway this week. Okay, hold on. This is so cool. And I really wish, like, I quilted, but I really need to get back to learning. And anyways, one of these times I'm gonna I'm gonna buckle down and I'm gonna get back to some of that. But the second one that comes from the Fat Quarter Shop, and it's so Emma, it's called Rose in Bloom, and it is a block of the month. It is so pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I went through this whole book last night. It's so pretty. So it's by Vanessa Gertzen of, I think it's Lila or Lella Boutique. Very pretty. It's the whole quilt's in here. So, but it goes by a block of the month. Right here. It tells you how to use your triangles on a roll. I was going to try and show you the first block. It shows you your fabric requirements, your piecing requirements, block 1. And I'm going to say this could possibly be one that I could, to me, I don't want to say I would be looking for a beginner quilt to get myself going again. But this one is really, really pretty, and I feel like I maybe could have pulled that off. But if you keep going, block 4 is your scrappy block. I think this is my favorite. But it's literally a block of the month that you could work out of in this one book, Rose in Bloom. So your keyword this time is rose. My favorite rose is the lavender rose. So the same rules apply. Just comment below, use the word rose. You don't have to make it in a sentence. You can do whatever you want. I do enjoy your comments, but the keyword is rose. So if you're interested in this particular book, then just use the word rose. Okay, so those are the 2 giveaways. Okay, we are doing really, really good. I'm so excited that the winners claimed those boxes. Or the last 2. The 5,000 subscriber made me just so excited. And I was so happy to get them off to the post office. And I was so glad to get so much stitching done. And the weather is gorgeous today in Florida here. So, happy Halloween. Enjoy your day. Whether you are walking around with little ones and getting them ready for, costumes and candy and all that, I wish you all the safety in the world, all the blessings. I ask you to say some sweet prayers on my dad's behalf. They had a marriage to be incredibly proud of. 55 years, and I think this would be 56. I should have calculated that before I said anything, but either way, I know for a fact when my dad talks about my mom, his number is I've known her for over 60 years. Okay, and this is just one of those things that I know this day will kind of hit hard, and I will do my best to love on him and find ways to keep him busy, and but nothing will take that place. So say some prayers or some well wishes, whatever works for you. I will be working on my sales. Don't forget, November 4th is also Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln and Mary's wedding anniversary. I think that's so cool that they got married on the same day. They share the same anniversary as my parents. I think that's so cool. So we have our first giveaway going. There's Stitching Generations Together, and there's the Honest Abe Sal. Stitching Generations Together, Sal, and we call that Generation Sal. But the name of the pattern by Twin Peak Primitives is Stitching Generations, and the Sal name is Generation Sal. Now, what I need you to do is, I don't see as many sharing the progress on the Honest Abe Sal. It's a big piece. I totally get it. I'm seeing much more on the Stitching Generations Together and progress on that. But I would love, if you are not on Instagram, if you are out there stitching on the Lincoln sampler, if you could email me, I would love to see it. I would love to know who all is stitching on it. And those that are on Instagram, if you're forgetting, could you use the hashtag Honest Abe sale, because we do want we do have some sweet giveaway prizes that we'd like to get out to you. So, okay, I think that's it. That's haul, that's whips. We're at an hour and 24 minutes. It's a little more than I thought, but there was some really fun giveaway and really fun things I did. And you guys are just awesome. Happy stitching, and please don't forget to floss. Love ya. Bye.